Hey, Joe. Ask Joe about money. And it is almost 1 o'clock Eastern, middle of the day. I like to look at this as a potential reversal time. So it's Monday. So what happened so far? So I ended up not taking any trades this morning. So this morning we gapped down, started to find the bottom, but then after this red bar, we continued selling off. But for me, I never really saw the conviction. And then once I started just seeing, this is what I call a distribution day. There's just continuous selling. But unless I had a reason to get short up here, just these bars here were just not convincingly bearish enough. And then when I started seeing these bars, I mean, yes, I saw selling, but at this point, if I was in, it would have been reasons for me to stay in the trade, but I wasn't willing to initiate a trade all the way down here, especially when we look at the bigger picture and that we are at potential support. Now, again, that doesn't mean that the market cannot go lower. What that means is that if I didn't find the spot to get in earlier, now is not the time to get short. As a matter of fact, we could see right now that shorts are covering their position. So this is something where we always have the potential of it being a reversal. So we're going to see what the price action looks like because, like I said, at this point, me personally, I'm not willing to short down here because we've already made a big move down, and I'm always looking and trying to capture the larger moves in the market. So what am I hoping for? If I'm shorting down in this area here now, there is higher probability that we either convert to a trading range at this point. We just convert into a trading range, or we could actually have another leg down. So that could definitely happen, but I would not be interested in that trade. What I would, because again, my price is going to be way too low, and especially when you're short. And here's a really good lesson is that when we're short, what really matters is that we get in short at a high price, because oftentimes reversals from the shorts are very vicious, very quick, and we need to have a good price. But right now we're at the moving average, and let's see what happens. If I start to see some bullish candles, okay, I would be interested in potentially looking for a long. Our initial stop is going to be down here below the low, because I could certainly see this as some type of bottoming action. At a minimum, we can all see just by what's happening here is that we ran out of sellers at this price. So we ran out of sellers. So right now, my risk, so let's start drawing my risk box, because what we focus on always first is risk, okay? Don't worry about the rewards, okay? Because again, if you're looking for a reward to risk ratio, what we can all see at a minimum is this. If we take this trade, let's just say that we get into this trade somewhere up here. Let's just say that's our risk box, right? Because we're going to want to see some buying, but let's say that's our risk box. We can see that from here to just the high of the day is up here. So we already have good risk reward from that perspective. Always try to get the best price that we can, but we're also, because we could theoretically get in right now, and with all risk and reward, what happens is if we get in right now, let's say that you get in here with a smaller risk box instead of, like I'm saying, maybe get in higher up, because the smaller your risk box, so if this risk box was this and you got in right now at the market, okay, your probability of success is going to be less. Why is that? Because when we talk about risk reward, you can't have both, right? You can't have small risk and high risk reward ratio. So what we're paying for is a higher probability as the market goes up, because if you get in right now, there's more uncertainty, this could turn down. As we start seeing more buyers, the probability of it going higher is higher, but we're giving up some of the profit, right? We're giving up the profit. I always like to just look at my risk. So let's just say we got in long from somewhere up here. Why not just get long right now? Because there are not evidence of sustained buyers. We're at the moving average. The probability of a successful trade would not be high, right? So we're always paying for higher probability with more risk. So from here, we got 40, let's say 40, 15, let's call it 10 to 12 points risk at this point. So fairly tight risk. What are the probabilities that we're going to go back up to the high? Right now, not very high, but that's why I like to look for the buying first. And when I see the buying, that's going to increase our probability. But for now, we're going to wait and we're going to see. I'm not expecting it to do that. But again, my expectations don't matter. What matters is, what is the market going to tell us? So far, we have some buyers here. We can all see higher lows, right? That's what happened so far. We're going to have a lot of resistance right here. This is going to be a resistance zone for us right across there. But we're watching and we're waiting, and we will see. As I was saying here, when the market was printing higher lows, but we're coming up to the moving average, and then I tried in a couple of candles, and this was the give up candle right here. So again, right now, I definitely don't want to be shorting here because we're at support, and this may be a spot to potentially look long because, again, and not because I'm predicting it, but if we see buying pressure come in, what if this time down here at support, it maybe does not go below it or goes below it and then retraces back up? This could be an area to look for a long. It's about 120. We still have plenty of time in the day for a reversal up, but let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm not going to anticipate because, again, we talk about risk and reward, right? We're looking at the risk reward box. Right now, I can get long with this little risk box. Don't you think some people are doing that right now? But you know what you're giving up? Probability. Your reward to risk is huge, right? Because just to get up to this resistance area, you have great risk reward, not to mention all the way up here. But your probability of this trade winning, in other words, more than likely, we're going to get down to at least one tick below the low of the day because whoever's taking this trade does not have good probability at this point. So I don't like to take those low probability trades because you got to take a lot of those and be willing to lose a lot. And if you're anything like me, you don't like to take a lot of losing trades. So I like to wait where the higher probability trades come up. That's why I don't take a lot of trades in any given day. A lot of days I don't take any trades. But let's see what happens here because we're looking for the bigger move, right? We're looking for the bigger move. So that being said, right now, where are we? I always ask myself this, where are we? We are at support. Do we short at support? No, we do not short at support. We buy at support. That doesn't mean we just blindly buy at support. We're going to see what is the reaction here. What if this is another red candle and it's a larger red candle? Then the market's probably going lower. So we're not going to predict. We're going to just observe and we're going to see what happens. Here we are, about 10 after 2 market time. And the selling continues. I was never able to find a place to get short. And like I said, just by virtue of how far we've come here, again, this is just not an area where I'm going to be shorting personally because we're at longer term support. But the market, that being said, doesn't mean I go long because the market could continue to go down. I just don't want to take the risk when the market's already moved from up here to down here in the last leg down. And I'm going to be shorting down here, so that doesn't make any sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch. It's probably getting a little bit too late in the day to see a reversal, but I'll be watching. But the selling's continuing, so there's no point in going long just because I'm not willing to go short doesn't mean that you go long. But no trade day today for me, and we're going to continue watching the market, and we're going to continue to see what happens. Trade well and manage your risk.